Hello friends, welcome you all. I hope you all doing great. Today's video is going to be the continuation of the series how to play jungle tips and strategies. So I'll be explaining you about the timings of the game and how to take advantage of the powers of the heroes who are good at their own specific times. So let me tell you about the timings first. Now if you check the in-game tips, there will be these details of the phases, how the match will progress according to them. So that 0 to 4 minutes is the early game where you will start the game and do all your basic chores. Then we have 4 to 10 minutes as the mid game where the tyrant and overlord spawns and respawns, best time for farming and making some leads. Also the catapult minions will spawn too. Then from 10 to 20 minutes is considered as the late game where the shadow tyrant and the shadow overlord will spawn and respawn, the time where most of the intense team fights and tower pushing will happen. Also the cannon minions will spawn, which will deal more damage to the towers, and you can take advantage of that by taking a lot of towers during that time. And if you can't end the match during this time, then you have the next phase of the match, which is the 20 plus minutes, the final showdown phase where the tempest dragon will spawn and respawn. Now this is kind of weird for me and some of you guys out there too, I guess. So I have changed this a little bit and made it better, easier to everyone. So let me explain. So I am considering like 0 to 8 minutes as the early game, 8 to 12 minutes as the mid game, and 12 past is the late game. So now details, yeah sure, for the details. In the early game from 0 to 8 minutes you will do most of your jungle and farm and as much and as quick as possible. So if you are very good at farming, then you can even reach the level 15 at the end of 8 minutes. So it is tempting, right? So I take you do want to know how, So here's the perfect video that explains everything you want to know to how to reach level 15 in just 8 minutes. So now in the early game, some of the jungle heroes will be powerful and do a lot but can't do much in the late games. I'll explain you which heroes are strong in early and late games later on in this video. Now in the early games there will be other things you will do as well, like invading the enemy jungle to disrupt their farm, getting the monsters which will improve your team's gold and XP a lot. So now you have got an idea and guessed that the in-game phase details is based on the spawning of the jungle monsters and the increase in power of the minions and blah blah blah, right? But my classification is based on the farming of gold and XP by our team and how occasionally fights will happen, then building up the equipments and stuff, yeah, like that. Okay, so now in the mid game nothing great is gonna happen, just same old farming and fighting, but there is this shadow monsters appearing happens, so it's gonna be it's not gonna be normal, and the team with the highest gold has 1 or 2 heroes probably full built by this time, like at the end of 12 minutes. Also friends, mostly this is the time phase most of the teams which have a early game hero, okay, early game hero will try to end the match as soon as possible, so they will be prepared for that. So I had experiences on this. So normally they will farm like crazy until 10 minutes, then kill one of the shadow monsters, mostly the overlord, sometimes both of them, then kick the opponent's asses. So this is a good time for the lucky ones. So yeah, now to the late games, about 12 minutes where almost all the heroes in both the teams except the roamer or support will be full built, the time where the late game hero shines. But there is a thing about the late game heroes I will tell you later on in this videos, okay? Mostly the farm laners and mid laners are very strong in the late games as they are created that way, so they can deal a lot of damage in the late games, but they are still squishy though. The roamer PGNs are balanced from early to the late games. The clash laners and the junglers are the pathetic set of laners who have different heroes who are powerful in different time zones or I mean phases of the match. So now let's see which of the junglers are good at different phases. This is my and Vizo's opinion, guys, so if you do want to tell us something, please comment below, which will help others too. Let's start with the early game heroes. Athena, she is a strong burst damage early game hero, will be strong until the mid game and will face a little struggle in the late games. Yep. So Butterfly is another strong hero. The thing is she can't do much jumping into 5 enemies with full equipments, right? So it is the late late game I'm talking about. So Hanshin and Musashi are the same as well. They can do a lot in the early games if they have a decent gold lead, but when the time passes they will get crushed instantly if they are seen. So the next is Sima Yi, who is a magic damage hero. So mostly the opponents won't be having any magic defense in the early games, so it's best time for him. When the game progresses beyond 12 minutes, everyone will go for at least one magic defense, because your team will always have another magic damage, which is the mid laner, right? And then we have Cyrus. He can fly through obstacles, but he can't fly through enemies, so that is the only thing that made him sit in the early games. After the rework, even after the rework, it doesn't have to do much with that. So, but it is a bit hard to compensate with him in the late games, but he is still one of the strongest among the early game junglers. So you may ask, what should I do with these heroes in the late games? Yep, you can certainly contribute a little bit to your team. So you can just split push and get the monsters, like the epic monsters and the Tempest. Okay, Tempest Dragon you can't try to take it solely, it will just kill you. So other than that, you can do the Overlord, like Shadow Overlord and Shadow stuffs, you can take it easily. So which can help your teammate a lot from the sidelines and let your team do all the fighting, guys. Yeah, so all these things I mentioned, so like split pushing, like taking towers and getting monsters will increase the XP and gold of your entire team, so that is a very good thing to do to your team in the late games. Okay, and you will also be giving buffs taking from the epic monsters, so it will also help them a lot. So but I won't say you shouldn't help them, but you should be careful, because in the early games you can initiate a fight and won't die with a little help from your teammates, but in the late games even your whole team can't save you if you initiate a team fight. So be very cautious when you engage in a team fight, guys. Now to the late game heroes, not heroes, only hero. So we have only one hero who can initiate a fight and come back running with his tail between his legs. The hero is Kwangming. Yes, he's a mage too, but he can do so much than any assassin any junglers who can do in the late games, even only with his S1. God really bless him so much. Yeah, even the enemies bought magic defense, he doesn't have to one-shot them like Sima Yi, right? So it is not a do or die situation. So he is better than Sima Yi and most of the junglers, but he is officially a mid laner. LOL. But he can do a lot in the jungle, guys, better than the standing in the mid lane. Now to the balanced heroes who are not all that powerful in any of the phases of the game, but balanced and can do something from the early till the late games. We have Li Bai, Wukong, Nakaruru, Jing. These four heroes need specific equipments to start dealing damage in the early games, but can able to handle the late game stress too. And we have Fang, Kiyotachibana, Agudo, Danwei, Pei. All these heroes can deal a lot of damage in the early games and sustain damage too. And the damage will be slightly decreasing during the match progresses, but it's fine. They can find a way to help their teammates in the team fights in the late games too. The next set, in my opinion, these heroes are perfectly balanced, guys. Yeah, finally. So Prince of Lanling, Luna, Ying, Zilong, Lam and Yanjin. So these guys are strong. If you know how to play them, then the match is all yours, guys. As I have told you before, you can't know if you don't try. So go out, take your phone, go into Honor of Kings, play as a jungler, lose 10 or 20 matches, and you will get all the experience you will need. Okay, so I hope you all have learned something from this video. If you haven't watched the episode 1 and 2 of this series, do check it out, guys, and leave a like to this video, a little support for my hard work, and see you all guys in the next video. Until then, bye bye and have a great day, friends, and thank you for watching. And this is Seronix signing off. Bye bye.